Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is a video about how to cook a pig steak using beer. Beer and fire. Alright, here's before and after. Let me show you how it's done. Baking tray, parchment paper, aluminum foil, pork shoulder steak, ketchup, mustard, beef stock. Mix that around. Salt, pepper, lemon juice. Flip it over and do the same stuff again. You have to make a closed vessel which the beer does not flow out of, so don't fold that all the way down or your beer will come out there. Beer. Use about 1/3 of a bottle. Have the beer level right up to the top of the steak. 250, and put that in. 90 minutes later, take that out. We're using porter beer here, that's the dark stuff. And that beer's been at a rolling boil for about 30 of those 90 minutes. Save that juice. You can fry that onto rice or do some other wonderful thing with that. And that's probably going against the rules of proper rice cooker operation, but you can use that beer and grease sauce instead of water to make a pot of rice. Using overproof rum here, also known as 151 proof. Well, there's also other proofs. This is overproof rum. We're using Navy overproof rum. Navy's another word for dark in the context of rum. So you're going to set that on fire in a glass and pour that on. And pour that on from a height that's not so high that it's going to splatter everywhere and set everything on fire, and not so low that you set your hand on fire. So leave that, make sure you blow out the fire in the glass when you're doing that, so let it burn. When it's starting to run it, you pour some more on. And I am not responsible if you burn your house down in a botched attempt at doing this. There's a lot of ways to mess this up. Because, for example, there's grease there. When you set grease on fire, that's going to splatter. It might splatter alcohol everywhere, set everything on fire. So make sure you don't mess this up, don't mess around, and when you play with fire, play safe. Also, make sure you don't do this around anything that turns poisonous when there's fire around it, including the wax on parchment paper or silicone rubber kitchen utensils or anything, or any plastic, and that includes Teflon coatings on metal surfaces. And that's a steak on fire. And remember, don't flinch. The first time that fire flares up on that steak, you will be tempted to throw your cup of fire across the room, but try to refrain from doing that if you don't want to kill yourself and everyone around you. Remember, make sure your glass and your hand are not on fire when you're doing this. Blow it out after your first pour, of course. And this is a lot like barbecuing, only it's way quicker and there's just way less gadgetry. Even the fuel's simpler, cleanup's easier. And in the end, it's about $7. For $7 you get a pound of steak and 2/3 of a bottle of beer. That's the prices in Vancouver, Canada here. That might vary depending on where you live or when you live. Ooh. And here's one that was on fire for about 4 minutes. Look at that. I always eat these with a fork. I never use a knife because it's pretty much pointless. Behind the scenes. Pepper. What? Credits.
Go, go, Junichiro.